Good morning, everybody. It's day 9 of my hike, my sunrise morning hike. It's another special day because there's another moon. It's not a full moon today, but there's another moon out today, so it's pretty cool. I love getting up here and seeing the moon on one side, the moon setting as the sun is rising. Wow, it's just, what a magnificent place we live in, everybody. I hope you can find the beauty. If it's been a crappy month for you, been a crappy year, hope you can see this and be like, wow, that is pretty beautiful. There's beauty there. There's beauty out here. And really, we just got to recognize it. So hope you guys recognize the beauty in your life, especially if things are going bad. The antidote for anger and fear is gratitude. I didn't mention that yesterday in the video, but it's important, and I heard that from Tony Robbins, but it's important. As the same thing with the opposite of abundance, the opposite of scarcity is not abundance. Sometimes we think it's abundance, but the opposite of scarcity is generosity. If you can think about that for a second, the more generous you can become, the more abundant you can get, the more abundant you can become. Because abundance happens through generosity. And scarcity, the opposite of scarcity, is not abundance. It's generosity, because once you start becoming generous with your time, generous with your, the amount of things that you do on a daily basis that are meant to serve others. Whether it's in your business, your personal life, your thoughts, your words, your actions, your deeds, whatever. I just want to encourage you on a couple things because it's such a beautiful place we're living in. And I've felt like everything sucks before. I've been really in some dark places. In fact, I pitched a tent in the Valley of the Shadow of Death. Have you guys ever pitched a tent there? I pitched a tent there for quite a few years, a couple years actually. I pitched a tent in the Valley of the Shadow of Death for 2 years. That was my depression. And I chose my depression. I picked my depression. I remember when I talked about safe problems versus quality problems. Depression is one of those safe problems that we can fall back into because you know what? We can control our depression. But there's something called a crazy 8. And I don't know if you ever heard about this. This is also in human needs psychology. The crazy 8 is when you get depressed. But when you're tired of being depressed, you get angry. And you're angry for a while. But then when you're angry for so long, everybody around you starts to not like you anymore. So then you get depressed again. And now everybody's like, hey, can I help you? And everybody comes in and tries to help you again. So then you become depressed. But then when you start feeling too sorry for yourself, and that cycle you don't like that anymore, you start getting pissed because now you're feeling too sorry for yourself and everybody's feeling sorry for you. So now you start getting pissed again. Boom, crazy 8. It's the crazy 8 cycle. It goes from depression to anger. And it's an interesting cycle. I was in that cycle for a little while, and just try to recognize these cycles. That's all I'm really mentioning this stuff for. It's fascinating stuff. And every time I learn something new, I'm like, wow, that's such a simple concept, but it makes sense. And there's other crazy 8 cycles too, not just depression and anger. There's other cycles too. But just think about that. Are you in any cycles, unwanted cycles that you don't want to be in right now? Are you? You might be. And if you are, you can get out of those cycles. You can step out of those cycles. You can step into the future that you want. So I hope you're having a great day, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. I started off on a little bit of a rant, but I love these rocks. Check out these rocks. The sun. Oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. So let's see. What do I want to talk about today? I really appreciate you guys coming on these hikes with me. It's so much fun. I think really what I want to talk about is, I still want to talk about goals. I really want to talk about goals. So let me ask you a question. first off, the baseline of what I'm about to say requires that you have some goals, that you have a desire to set some goals that are personal goals. You don't always have to set personal goals, but I think you should always have at least one personal goal. At least one personal goal. One goal that's for you, that's gonna benefit you, that's gonna take you to that next level. Maybe it's a learning goal, a skill goal. Like a lot of my goals have been skill goals in the past. Like, I learned how to play the harmonica in 9 months. I took lessons from this amazing harmonica instructor, like once a week. And the lessons were, I think, 20 or 40 bucks a lesson. Like, it really didn't cost that much to learn to play the harmonica. And I don't play it that often anymore, but I have a really good base knowledge of the harmonica, and I can rip out a few songs here and there. So if you put a brand new harmonica, that's the one thing about harmonicas, you can't like share them. It's like, hey, let me play your guitar. You know, then you can play someone else's guitar, but it's like, let me play your harmonica. I don't know about that. That's like chewing someone else's gum. So, or using someone else's toothbrush. When you break in a harmonica, it's your harmonica. Anyways, so I want to talk about goals here. So if you have goals, this requires that you have goals. But if you have goals, how often do you review your goals? How often do you review your goals? That's what I really want to ask you. And how do you review your goals? Right now, personally, I'm doing it daily. Every single morning, I plan my day again on my big whiteboards and I review my goals. And now I started, see, the thing is I set some really big goals in the beginning of the year, as I think all of us do. Now, most of us don't actually follow through with those goals, the New Year's resolutions. Well, let's start, and let's not call them resolutions. Let's call them personal development goals. But let's set some mid-year goals. If you're down with me, let's redo the goal setting. Let's call this the midpoint of the year, and let's focus on building to a big conclusion, a great year's end. And then let's focus on a great launch of a new year, because you know what? We're mid-year right now. 2020 is around the corner. So we actually should start preparing for 2020 right now. I mean, I know I think future, but it's also like, without thinking like this, we can get ourselves into a little bit of a rut accidentally. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Ask yourself how often you review your goals. When is the last time you set your goals? Have you achieved the goals that you've already set for yourself in the beginning of the year? Did you give up on some of them? Were you supposed to give up on some of them? Because sometimes you got to give up on goals because we set the wrong goals. We got to sometimes learn how to set better goals, okay? So there's all that stuff too. But now is the time when I think a lot of us might be hitting a wall. That's why I had to start doing these hikes. I had to start doing these hikes because I hit a wall. And I didn't quite feel, let's get the sunset, yeah. I didn't quite feel as good anymore. And that's why I stopped coffee and did the hikes, and I'm feeling really good. I'll tell you what, I did start drinking tea. Yesterday, I drank tea. But I did, it's moringa tea and black tea. So I did black tea and some moringa, and I put that in the tea, and I let it cold brew overnight on my countertop. And then I put it in a French press in the morning, and I drank that yesterday. Oh, it was good, and it helped me get going through the whole day. I didn't even have to pass out after my hike. So I'm getting some energy, everybody. I'm coming back without the caffeine. Well, no, but that's the thing. I did caffeine. It's just in the form of tea. Is that okay, everybody? Put in the comments if I'm cheating or if that's okay. I think it's okay. But I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to be healthy, but I also really want to have energy. And if I can get a healthy boost from something, is that bad? I don't know. All right, put in the comments below what you guys think. I'm having a hard time thinking through this. I want to be healthy here, but I also want to make sure my body produces energy. But then it's like tea feels healthy to me. All right, anyways, so how often are you reviewing your goals? Have you recently set some new personal goals? If you haven't, now is the time. Right now is the time to set some new personal goals, because you're worth it, and it's time. Because how how do you want 2020 to look? We are not going to be able to read a chapter of our life that we didn't write first. So we need to write the next chapter of our life right now, if that makes sense. So we need to start writing our next chapter now so we can read our next chapter in the next chapter. Does that make sense? I want to plan my next year to be the best year of my life. I want to plan this year to be the best year of my life. I want every single day to be the best day of my life. I know I'm not going to achieve that. But as of right now, I can stay in that zone for a long time. I can really ride these waves. And once I start finding the rhythm of my purpose, my golden legacy purpose, my current golden goals, and once I really start achieving goals in the direction of my ultimate purpose of my life, that's really going to change how much energy I have and you have. Because we get energy from fulfilling our dreams. We get energy from finding our purpose, from fulfilling that purpose. And so if we fulfill that purpose, we get more energy. Because isn't it energy draining when you're doing something that you hate every single day? Is that energy draining, or is it energy draining? Because it's energy draining to me. And I like doing the things I like to do. I've never found it important to do the things I don't want to do. But if we decide it's too hard to set personal goals, or we decide it's too hard to achieve the dreams that we want, we are going to be put in a place where we have to achieve other people's goals all the time. And it's going to feel very, very unfulfilling. It's good to serve others. In fact, that's the whole point of all of this. But just understand, you are important also. And it's really important. Wow, look at that sun. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's the sun flare. Oh yeah, it's just so important, everybody, to focus on filling up your cup. And then, like a cool friend of mine told me, pour from the saucer. So patch your holes at the bottom of your cup, overflow the energy in your cup, and let it pour onto the saucer, and then pour from the saucer. So we're not dumping our cup, spilling our cup on the side, just tipping it all the way over. Don't tip your cup over and drain all your energy out. Fill up your cup and then pour from the saucer. So thanks, John. That was really awesome that you told me that. I like that. So let's end this strong. I want to give you some homework if you choose to accept it. I just want you to evaluate. Grab a journal, grab a pen, spend 1 hour. Actually, there's a really good 30-day challenge for a lot of you. Spend 1 hour per day on yourself. 1 hour per day. Now, what is this? This is structured alone time is what I'm talking about. This will help you. Like, if you're like, hey, Dave, I don't even know what I want. I don't even know what I want. That is what your daily cocoon is going to give you. Your daily cocoon is going to help you figure out what you want. It's going to help you, first off, establish what goals you want to set. And then once you get a couple goals, man, clarity is a supercharger. Once you get a couple goals, run on them. And here's another quick thing I want to talk about and hit on. Billionaires launch and release their ideas at 40%. How perfect do you have to be to launch and release the ideas that are in your head? How perfect do we have to be? Perfectionism is a killer. Now, perfectionism, what people expect, like, hey, I don't want to release this because I'm a perfectionist. I've said that a lot in my past. But what I came to understand, and I came to understand this through Brendon Burchard. Thank you, Brendon, through High Performance Academy. Man, I love those things. Those are so much fun to go to. Energy is so high, immersion experiences. But billionaires release things at 40%. Now, quality is always the key. Quality is always the baseline. You gotta make sure everything you do you like, even if you do it quick. But see, if you wait until it's perfect to release it, you're never gonna release it. If you release it at 40%, once you say, hey, this is good, it's not perfect. It's 40% perfect, but it's good. You release it. Then, once it's out in the public, now, releasing it, that is the actual moment. That's the moment. That's the hard part right there. That's the hard part. I'm just skipping over real quick, but I'm gonna skip over it real quick. Once you release it, now it's out there and the market can help you perfect it, right? So then version 2 will be better than version 1. Version 3 will be better than version 4. But we have this attachment to how perfect everything should look, and I think a lot of it dials down to our ego. Our ego is trying to protect us, but our ego is our scared us. It's our fearful us trying to protect us from other hurts and pain. And we got to understand that we can't be mean to our ego, guys. We can't say, like I've heard a lot of these self-help guys go, shut up, just tell yourself to shut up. No, don't tell yourself to shut up. Why would you say shut up to somebody else? That's mean. Like, ask yourself, hey, calm down for 1 second. Hey, Dave, I appreciate what you're saying. Okay, I know you're trying to protect me. Thank you for trying to protect me. But no, we're doing it this way. I love you, Dave, but no, we're doing it this way. I love you, ego, but no, we're doing it this way. It's that. It's just firm but loving. It's not shut up, because that's so mean. Don't be mean to yourself. We're so mean. We're so hard to ourselves. Anyways, those are my rants for today. How often do you set your goals? When is the last time you set your goals? And is it time for you to set more goals? And how do you set more goals? If you don't have a goal, you enter a 1-hour daily cocoon time, which is structured alone time. It is not isolation. It is not loneliness. It is structured alone time. It's for you to have a journal in front of you with a pen and an idea in your head, and just run, or no ideas in your head, and just, it's called brain puke. Just puke your brain onto the page and see what happens. It's incredible therapy. Not only is it incredible therapy, you're going to find, that's how you dig for your gold. That is digging for your gold. Now, I do suggest you always journal as part of your, there's 2 things I want you to always do. First is plan your day every single day. And second is journal. Just write something down. Third is read. So read something, journal something, and plan your day. That right there is, you could do 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. That's 30 minutes. Or you could do 20, 20, 20. That's 60 minutes. That's 1 hour to yourself. That equals 40. That equals 6.5 40-hour work weeks, 6.5 full 40-hour work weeks over the course of a year, giving yourself 1 hour a day. Just do it for yourself. You owe yourself some time, baby. You owe yourself some time. So give yourself some time, because you earn it. You've earned it over the years. You deserve it. And if you give yourself some time, that is when the ideas will flow. If you're stuck on ideas. If you got plenty of ideas like me, then you got to focus it and harness it into one at a time. Now, when I say one at a time, my one at a time is one big strategy at a time. My one at a time is not like one video at a time. My strategy is, my way I do it is one full strategy at a time. So I plan an entire treasure map. I build my whole treasure map up front. It's how I make a movie, and it's how I make every single movie I do under budget, and I do it at the highest possible level that I possibly could. That's how I do every project at a super high level, is because I really just plan it out. I build the whole treasure map up front, and then I execute that treasure map. I run at my plan, and I don't second guess myself as I'm running my plan, because you built the map when you were clear-headed. When you start running your plan, you start running in the game, you got to trust your plan. You got to trust that you had a clear-headed and you built it. So if you got questions during your plan, you got to be able to recalibrate, but you got to also trust your plan. I hope all this makes sense. I love you all. I love you so much. You guys are incredible. You have gold in your mind, and that's why I wrote Your Gold Mind, Brain Digging Gold Guide. That's why I'm making all these videos. I'm making the videos for you. I'm hiking for me. I'm also saying all this stuff for me too. It's organizing my knowledge. One quick thing I want to end on is knowledge is power is half of the equation. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. What is power? Personal power. It's organized knowledge. So take what you know and organize it in a fashion that other people can understand. And boom, now you got some wisdom. That's personal wisdom, and that is your personal power. So I hope this episode has benefited you today. If it has, Feel free to share this with at least 3 friends who might need to set some goals and might need some inspiration on how to set some goals, because the sun is out, baby, and life is good. Life is beautiful. I love you so much, but also the moon is out at the same time. So life is good, life is amazing, but it is duality as well. Boop. All right, I love you all. My name's David A. Stone. This is day 9 of my 30-day hiking sunrise hike challenge and my no coffee challenge. I'm really glad I added the no coffee in there too, because it added the difficulty level like up here, higher than just hiking every morning. All right, well, I love you all. Until next time, develop awesome skills and go find your gold.